Since the very first Rugby World Cup in 1987, the tournament has grown into one of the biggest events in world sport. Each World Cup brought its own drama, unforgettable moments, upsets, and legendary champions. In this video, we'll go through every Rugby World Cup in history, from 1987 to 2023, and rank them from worst to best. Stick around until the end to see where each World Cup finishes on the final rankings. The inaugural Rugby World Cup in 1987, co-hosted by New Zealand and Australia, set the stage for global rugby competition. The All Blacks dominated the tournament, defeating France 29-9 in the final. Grant Fox scored the most points, while John Kirwan and Craig Green topped the try-scoring charts. David Kirk was named player of the tournament. The quality of rugby was solid but uneven, with few surprises in the knockout stages. France showed flair in the final, but New Zealand's dominance was clear. Local crowds in New Zealand were passionate, and the tournament marked the birth of international rugby as a truly global event. Match competitiveness varied, but it was an entertaining start to what would become rugby's most prestigious championship. The 1991 Rugby World Cup, hosted across the UK, Ireland, and France, showcased a step-up in tactical sophistication compared to 1987. Matches were generally closer, and knockout rounds were highly competitive. The final was tense and low-scoring, less flashy than the inaugural tournament, but full of strategic drama. Ralph Keyes finished as the tournament's top point scorer, while Jean-Baptiste Lafond and David Campese each scored 6 tries. David Campese was named player of the tournament for his outstanding performances. European crowds brought strong energy, and the tournament marked the first time rugby received widespread global TV coverage, solidifying its growing international profile. The 1995 Rugby World Cup in South Africa was a milestone for both sport and culture. Matches were competitive, tactical, and highly physical, with knockout stages delivering thrilling drama, including England's shock elimination of Australia. The final between the Springboks and the All Blacks was historic, a tense, unforgettable clash decided by Joel Stransky's iconic drop goal, giving South Africa their first World Cup title. Thierry Lacroix scored the most points in the tournament, while Jonah Lomu and Mark Ellis were the top try scorers. Jonah Lomu, named player of the tournament, electrified the world and changed rugby forever. Stadiums were packed, and Nelson Mandela's presence united a nation while inspiring fans worldwide. This tournament cemented rugby's global profile and remains the most culturally significant World Cup in history. The 1999 Rugby World Cup, hosted primarily in Wales and the UK, marked the first tournament to feature 20 teams, reflecting rugby's growing global reach. Matches showcased strong technical play and professional standards, with tense knockout rounds and a few shocking upsets, most notably France defeating New Zealand. Australia claimed their second World Cup title, dominating the final. Gonzalo Quesada finished as the tournament's top point scorer, while Jonah Lomu scored 8 tries. Yanni de Beer's 5 drop goals against England in the quarterfinals provided one of the most memorable moments in Rugby World Cup history. Packed European stadiums created an electric atmosphere, and the expansion to 20 teams boosted participation and visibility worldwide. While some pool matches were one-sided, the knockouts were highly competitive, making 1999 a thrilling and professionally significant World Cup. The 2003 Rugby World Cup in Australia featured highly tactical and professional rugby, with skill levels at their peak. The tournament built up to a thrilling final between England and Australia, decided in extra time by Jonny Wilkinson's iconic drop goal, securing England's first World Cup victory. Wilkinson was the tournament's top point scorer and named player of the tournament. Doug Howlett and Mills Muliaina topped the try-scoring charts. Stadiums were packed, with enthusiastic crowds and strong global engagement. The victory marked the rise of Northern Hemisphere rugby and demonstrated the increasing parity of the sport. While pool stages were mostly predictable, the knockout rounds were intense, delivering unforgettable and high-stakes entertainment. The 2007 Rugby World Cup in France showcased professional, physical, and highly structured rugby, with intense matches throughout. The tournament featured thrilling upsets, including Argentina's rise and England's unexpected run, keeping fans on edge. The Springboks claimed their second World Cup title, led by outstanding performances from Brian Habana, Percy Montgomery, and Francois Steyn. Montgomery finished as the top point scorer, while Habana crossed the try line 8 times and was named player of the tournament. French stadiums were packed with passionate fans, creating an electric atmosphere. The tournament marked South Africa's redemption, highlighted Argentina's arrival on the world stage, and represented the peak of rugby professionalism. Knockout matches were fiercely competitive, and epic narratives made it an unforgettable edition. The 2011 Rugby World Cup in New Zealand showcased peak professionalism, tactical mastery, and exceptional fitness. The tournament featured shocking upsets, including Tonga and Ireland, and tense knockout matches kept fans on the edge of their seats. The final was a nail-biting clash between the All Blacks and France, with New Zealand winning their second World Cup title after 24 years. Morné Steyn was the top point scorer, while Chris Ashton and Vincent Clerc scored the most tries. Thierry Dusautoir was named player of the tournament, with Richie McCaw also delivering outstanding performances. Passionate crowds across New Zealand created an unmatched atmosphere, and the tournament's broadcast reached solidified rugby's global stature. With balanced competition, dramatic upsets, and a cinematic final, the 2011 World Cup remains an unforgettable edition. The 2015 Rugby World Cup in England showcased fast, clinical, and attacking rugby at its finest. The tournament featured shocking moments, most notably Japan's historic victory over South Africa, and intense knockout matches that kept fans hooked. The All Blacks, in a very strong and dominant side, won back-to-back World Cups by defeating a fired-up Wallabies team in the final. Nicolas Sanchez finished as the top point scorer, while Julian Savia scored 8 tries to lead the tournament. Dan Carter was named player of the tournament for his outstanding performances. Packed stadiums and massive global energy created an electric atmosphere. Japan's upset boosted rugby's popularity in Asia, and the tournament's fast-paced emotional matches delivered iconic rugby moments, solidifying the All Blacks' legacy and rugby's global growth. The 2019 Rugby World Cup, hosted by Japan, was high-speed, tactically brilliant, and physically intense. The tournament featured historic upsets, including Japan's double-shock victories and England's stunning win over New Zealand. The Springboks captured their third World Cup in a thrilling final, with Andre Pollard finishing as the tournament's top point scorer. Josh Adams of Wales scored the most tries, while Pieter-Steph du Toit was named player of the tournament, establishing himself as the world's premier flanker. Japan's passion, respect, and organization created an unmatched atmosphere, while the tournament marked Asia's first Rugby World Cup and a record global audience. With emotional historic matches and intense knockouts, 2019 was a milestone in rugby's global story. The 2023 Rugby World Cup in France delivered world-class rugby from start to finish. Every knockout match was tense, physical, and filled with drama, showcasing how evenly matched the world's top teams had become. Fiji's stunning win over the Wallabies and Portugal's historic draw added to the tournament's excitement. The Springboks claimed their fourth world title, and second under Rassie Erasmus, after a series of nail-biting victories that cemented their legacy as one of rugby's greatest dynasties. Owen Farrell finished as the top point scorer, while Jordan crossed for 8 tries, and Ardie Savia earned player of the tournament honors for his outstanding performances. With record global viewership, passionate French crowds, and flawless organization, the 2023 World Cup reignited rugby's global spirit and will be remembered as one of the finest ever staged. And now for the fun part, ranking them from 10 to 1. Number 10, 1987 World Cup, the beginning of it all. Historic but lacked global balance and depth. Number 9, the 1991 World Cup, more tactical and structured, but low-scoring games kept it from higher spots. Number 8, the 1999 World Cup, memorable upsets like France beating New Zealand, but a one-sided final held it back. Number 7, 2003 World Cup, Wilkinson's drop goal defined an era, though overall play was predictable at times. Number 6, the 2011 World Cup, a dramatic home win for New Zealand, yet the final lacked attacking flair. Number 5, the 2007 World Cup, South Africa's redemption and Argentina's rise made it powerful and emotional. Number 4, 2015 World Cup, fast modern rugby with Japan beating the Boks. Global growth reached new heights. In third place, the 2019 Rugby World Cup, an inspirational Springbok triumph, with Japan's passion and energy making it truly unforgettable. In second place, the 2023 Rugby World Cup, a near-perfect tournament, packed with world-class clashes and an electric atmosphere from start to finish. And my winner, the 1995 Rugby World Cup, the tournament that defined rugby history. Mandela. Unity. The Springboks victory that changed a nation forever. And that wraps up our journey through every Rugby World Cup so far, from the very first in 1987 to the unforgettable 2023 edition. Each tournament had its own magic, drama, and heroes that shaped rugby's history. Which Rugby World Cup stands out the most for you? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more rugby rankings and history deep dives right here on Nix Pro Rugby.